Wait, what is it?
Do you? I don't want to touch anything. Hello? You know what?
That's the light one.
Thea. Yes, the president is in town, so the roads are blocked, the streets are stopped, so
He's coming here?
President Obama he's not coming here, but he's down at Ground Zero. Good afternoon, everyone. If we could ask for everyone to please take their seats so everyone can get in. Thank you. It always pays to do that. How are you? Great. Thank you. Thank you. We're close. If everyone could please take their seats. We're close to beginning today's festivities. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Lori Dowley, chairperson of the Mother's Day Committee and Council. And I cannot think of a better way to start today's Mother's Day luncheon than to hear children's voices sing. So please help me welcome children today from the Edward Williams School Choir. Edward Williams, thank you for correcting me. Let's enjoy them.
Open our ears that we may
Great job. Another round. Come on, let's show them. If you have love, you'll have peace. Thanks for those great words, kids. Beautiful job. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the 33rd Annual Outstanding Mother Awards Luncheon. I'd like to welcome the 2011 Outstanding Mother honorees, Joyce Armelli, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, Donna Karen, Cindy Levy, and Susan Sarandon. I'd also like to welcome our Mistress of Ceremonies, Mindy Grossman, who is our 2010 Outstanding Mother honoree. There's one more person who I would truly like to recognize, who has been a driving force of both the Mother's Day and Father's Day Council and committees. He keeps us posted on what we're supposed to do when. He inspires us. He is our biggest champion, and we are going to miss him immensely. After 16 years on the council, he is retiring at the end of this year. And it's a sad time for me to make this announcement. Joe, if you would please come to the podium. Joe Rivers. Please, Joe. The other day I was with Joe, and he told me a story that 16 years ago, he gave the first check from the Mother's Day, Father's Day Council at the time, and it was to the Ronald McDonald House, and the check was for $500. So let me just say, Joe Rivers, you've brought us a long way. And sir, we really want to say thank you. We'll miss you.
Thank you.
We have something special to remember us by.
Thank you.
And I know we're not going to get rid of him that easy.
I don't want to tie up the program, my usual long speeches, but thank you very much. It's been a fun tour. Just coming here and getting to see all these people, being able to honor mothers and fathers. It's a pleasure, and for all the moms here and the mom wannabe and anybody else, we're happy you're here. Have a nice Mother's Day, and thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
Okay, appreciate it.
Great job. We'll miss you. I want to thank you all for your generosity and continued commitment to our organization, and I want to extend my sincerest appreciation to all of you who have year after year helped us in buying tables and sponsoring and supporting Save the Children this year. You've helped us sell out for the second year in a row. So thank you, everyone. As many of you know, the National Mother's Day Committee, part of the National Father's Day Council, is a not-for-profit organization that seeks to enhance the meaning of Mother's Day and encourage universal observance. We then channel the funds raised by our annual awards to support meaningful family-related philanthropies. To date, the National Father's Day Mother's Day Council has donated nearly $31 million to deserving family-related charities nationwide, which includes more than $3.5 million during 2010. Today, in a time where underprivileged children need our help more than ever, we are delighted to be donating the proceeds of today's luncheon to Save the Children's U.S. programs, which has a track record of providing hope to those who need it most. We are very pleased to have back with us once again today Mark Shriver, Senior Vice President and Managing Director of the U.S. programs for Save the Children, who can share a little bit more about Save the Children's U.S. programs. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mark Shriver.
Good afternoon. I know I stand between all of you and food, although I know some of you have already started, so I will be mercifully brief. I just wanted to thank Lori, obviously, and the committee for their continued support of our work here in the United States. It is an amazing event every year. It not only raises very scarce resources for our work all across America, but it also raises the visibility of the work that we do, and that is crucially important as well. I want to say just a couple of things. Many of you may not know it, but today, as a result of the economy in the last couple of years, 1 in 5 kids in this country lives in poverty. That's 20% of the kids in the United States lives in poverty. In rural America, where Save the Children does most of our work, the numbers are worse. It's 1 in 4. 25% of the kids in the United States in rural America live in poverty. And really what's more disturbing than those numbers are these facts, that 60% of those kids don't have books in their homes. That 4-year-old kids that are living in poverty are 18 months behind developmentally behind kids that are not living in poverty. So my wife Jeannie and I, we have 3 kids. The youngest, Emma, just turned 6. When she was 4 years of age, she was 18 months, a year and a half ahead of a kid that was 4 years of age living in poverty. And the childhood obesity rate that you read so much about all across the media and the newspapers, 1 in 3 kids nationally are either overweight or obese. In rural America, those numbers are worse. It's 1 in 2. You know, a lot of people think that the poverty crisis is unsolvable, that it's been with us really forever, so it will always be with us. But that's not the way I was raised. That's not what the folks at Save the Children's U.S. programs believe. It's obviously not what Lori and her team believe. So we're really honored to receive these supports, the financial support. What's crucial, though, is that your dollars are going to an effective cause. Our early childhood program, which is home visiting, our staff are literally going into the homes, helping moms and dads learn how to work with their children, learn how to read to their children, understand the importance of tummy time, understand the importance of playing games that stimulate the child's social, emotional, and cognitive development. Our work is bringing those kids that are very much at risk up to normal test scores on a key vocabulary test, the Picture Peabody Vocabulary Test. Our in-school, after-school, and summer literacy programs, which focus on kids between the ages of 1st and 6th grade. 80% of the kids coming into those programs are not reading at grade level. At the end of 1 year, that number has doubled, and almost 70% of the kids in that program are making statistical gains much higher than had they just gone to school. We're also doing work as a result of disasters. Save the Children does this internationally, but also in the U.S. We're down in Alabama and in Mississippi after the tornadoes that hit last week that killed over 300 people. And heartbreakingly, there are 400 people now missing. We're down in the shelters, in the community centers, making sure that the money that is actually hopefully raised today will go into those programs that will make a difference in kids' lives, that will get them back into a routine as normal and as quickly as possible. The good news is that the Obama administration, under the leadership of the new FEMA administrator, Craig Fugate, has done a great job. It's a lot different than it has been in the past. They had prepositioned supplies, and they're actually hitting the ground running. And Save the Children, with our work with FEMA and the Red Cross, is making a big difference in those kids' lives. I'll tell just one sad story. I talked to our staff person down there a couple days ago who was in a home filled with, in a community that's trailer parks, and one of the mothers told her that these tornadoes literally came down out of nowhere, and the speed of these tornadoes, Lori, was 280 to 320 miles an hour, an F5. It was a mile wide and stayed on the ground for an hour. It blows away Hurricane Katrina and Rita, 200 plus miles an hour, up to 300, and literally people were running out of their homes with no shoes on. We've distributed shoes, and unfortunately there have been a number of kids impacted on this that were literally torn away from their parents as they ran to safety. It's an unbelievable situation. I just want to say very quickly to congratulate the winners, Joyce Armelli, who's done such a wonderful job with Bon-Ton, making sure that they're doing the work fortifying the communities in which they live in, Cindy Levy, who's done such a great job making glamour not just about fashion, but more importantly about the causes that impact women, particularly the most recent campaign about relationship violence. Donna Karen has done such an amazing job fully integrating philanthropic action into her brand and into the work that she does. Senator Gillibrand, it's not my sister. My sister got this award a couple years ago, and that was a lot of fun because I got to introduce her, and River. But anyway, Senator Gillibrand has done so much work with Save the Children. has done such a great job on the fight against childhood obesity. She's not here today, but she's been such a strong advocate on Capitol Hill. Susan Sarandon, who I just had a chance to spend a couple of minutes with. A lot of celebrities talk about doing good work, but the ones that make a big difference, and she's obviously one of them, are fierce and relentless, and they are committed. And she turned to me as we were walking in here and said, if you ever want to use is it a bar, ping pong bar? I want Spin, you can use it for a fundraiser for Save the Children. So she is relentless and very positive. So I want to congratulate and thank them all. And again, thank the Mothers Council and the Father of the Year Council as well, and all of you for your help today. Thank you very much.
On your tables, I hope that you can find it in your heart, there are pledge cards that you personally can fill out. So at this time, we want you to enjoy your lunch, but we hope that you can fill out something and leave it there. We'll be around a little later to pick those pledge cards up. And if anyone has not gotten the opportunity to drop their business card into the entrance foyer, you can win a day at the Red Door Spa for you or your mother. So make sure that happens. Enjoy your meal, everyone. We'll be back in a few minutes. I'm thrilled to be able to introduce this year's Mistress of Ceremony, CEO of HSN Inc., and a 2010 Outstanding Mother recipient, Mindy Grossman. As the chief of HSN Inc., Mindy oversees a $3 billion retail portfolio that includes HSN and its assortment of exclusive products and top brand names, as well as Cornerstone, a dynamic multi-channel retailer of lifestyle brands, including Frontgate, Garnet Hill, and Ballard Design, among others. Since joining HSN in 2006, Mindy has been responsible for transforming the company into a lifestyle network, diversifying its portfolio of brands and personalities, and spearheading its efforts to evolve the linear network into a multi-platform business. Mindy has also led HSN's expansion into mobile with the development of applications for the iPhone, Android, and iPad. In addition, Mindy oversaw the 2010 launch of a second 24-hour television shopping channel, HSN2. Mindy is renowned as a retail industry leader and a highly regarded business executive. In 2010, she was ranked by the Financial Times as one of the top 50 women in world business. And in 2009, Forbes magazine named her one of the world's 100 most powerful women. We are honored to have Mindy back with us this year to MC today's presentation. And without further ado, please welcome Mindy Grossman.
We planned this. And actually, Andy Sheldon, who runs my head of television and creative, said he almost wore it too, but he didn't. Anyway, it is such an honor to be here today to present this year's Outstanding Mother Awards. And I think, as we all know, the dual role of mother and career woman is clearly not an easy task, and to successfully accomplish both is an achievement as women, because we have a tendency to want to do it all and do it all perfectly. And given everyone I see out here, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We navigate the ultimate balancing act, and I feel that I can personally speak for many of us that sometimes we feel we're on a permanent tilt. But today we're celebrating a talented and inspiring group of women who, each one of whom, have figured it out. Each of them has demonstrated their mastery of their own unique balancing act, as well as the ability to excel as businesswomen, moms, and as individuals who are making a very significant impact on the lives of others. I'm proud to welcome these 5 remarkable women to the ranks of some very prominent prior honorees, including Madeleine Albright, Caroline Kennedy, Vera Wang, Betty Davis, Senator Hillary Rodham Clinton, and Meryl Streep, amongst many others. Given this list of luminaries, as well as today's honorees, I was humbled to have been included as a recipient of this award in 2010. And this honor had a very personal meaning for me. And for those who may have not been here last year, I accepted this award on behalf of my mom, who along with my father had passed away just 2 weeks prior. So my acceptance was a tribute to a woman who, although she clearly grew up in a very different generation, inspired me to reach for the stars, have a career, have a family, and at the same time, aspire to have a positive impact on the world. So with that, I'm proud to be here again today, among all of you, to introduce these 5 fearless, innovative game changers who actually are incredible inspirations to us all. So our first honoree is Joyce Armelli, Senior Vice President and General Merchandise Manager of the Bon-Ton Stores, Inc., a company where she has worked for 34 years. Through her extensive retail career, Joyce has participated in 5 different mergers while remaining in the same building for more than 3 decades. That's resilience. She began her retail career as an executive trainee at the Boston store in 1977 and quickly became a buyer for Better Sportswear. By 1987, Joyce was promoted to Vice President and Divisional Merchandise Manager of Better Sportswear. Over the next 12 years, she held the position of Senior Vice President and General Merchandise Manager of Ready-to-Wear and Outerwear before moving into her current role within the company's Center Core area. Married to her husband, Tony, for 30 years, Joyce is also the proud mother of Joe and Angela. Please join me in congratulating Joyce Armelli as a 2011 Outstanding Mother.
I get a plaque. I didn't know that. Thank you. Thank you, Mindy.
Thank you, Mindy, and good afternoon to everyone. First, I want to take this opportunity to thank the committee for this honor and for letting me be part of support to the charity of choice of this year, Save the Children, because anytime we do anything for kids, it's a wonderful cause. I'm very humbled today to be up here amongst these honorees. I really don't know what I'm doing up here, to be honest with you, amongst this very accomplished group of women, but I want to extend my congratulations to each and every one of you. I've been asked several times during the last few months to give my thoughts on motherhood and did I have an aha moment. And I guess I'm kind of boring because my aha moment really came at the time that my children were born. Tony and I had been married about 5 years, and I, not him, was waiting for that right moment, that moment that really never comes. So one day, I had been traveling quite a bit, and he leaned over and he said to me, if you're going to be doing all this traveling, I need a little buddy to hang out with. So that was my moment. Shortly afterwards, we had our son Joey, and not quite 2 years later, we had our daughter Angela. And to me, when I held those babies, I knew that was my aha moment because my life changed forever. I never knew I could love anyone as much as I love my kids. I think we all love a lot of people in our lives, but there's a special love between a mother and a child that I don't think you can really appreciate until you've been a mom. Now, 25 years later, I wonder where all those years went, and I look back on memories, good and bad, and I realize how really, really lucky I was. I've had a wonderful support system throughout my life, and I'd just like to thank a few people that are here with me today, because it's really not so much about me, but all the people that I love so much. First of all, I'm very fortunate to have both my parents with me here today, Jerry and Rose Varelli. Yes, I went from a Varelli to an Armelli. Yeah.
My mom and dad played a really important role in who I am today. Their love and support was really unconditional, and they were and still are always there for me. I thank them for giving me a strong set of values founded on respect, compassion, and integrity, which has guided me throughout my life, both in my career and as a mother. Mom and Dad, you taught me how to be a good mom just by being you, and I thank you both. I want to thank my husband, Tony, who sometimes I'm not sure how he puts up with me, but he does, and it's a good thing. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here today without his encouragement and support. He is my perfect partner. He has been the ultimate Mr. Mom for me when the kids were young, and he always puts his needs last. So, Tony, for everything you do for me every day, I love you and I thank you. Just a few more. My sister Gail, who's my best friend, I'm so glad you could be here today, Gail, to help me celebrate this. And to my kids who are probably saying, how come we're fourth in this thing here? What can I say to you guys? I'm so blessed to have you as my son and daughter. You bring more joy and happiness into my life than I ever knew possible. You both know how much I love you and how very proud I am of you. I want to take this time to thank the Bon-Ton for making it possible for me to have a rewarding career and still be a mom. To my co-workers who are just a terrific group of people who make work fun every day. And to a special gentleman who has mentored me for the last 20 years and is truly instrumental in my success. I couldn't ask for a better person to work for. He's a great guy. I call him my husband at work because he's another Tony Buccina. And lastly, to many of you here today, some of you I grew up with in the industry. Some of you I've just recently got the pleasure to get to know and be friends with. I just want to thank all of you for your support and your friendship. Thank you very much.
I can't see without my glasses, so I can't see whose name is on them. I'm making sure I'm not mixing them up. Our next honoree is Kirsten Gillibrand, United States Senator from New York. In a short amount of time, Senator Gillibrand has already made her mark, helping lead the fight to repeal Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and providing health care and compensation to the 9/11 first responders and community survivors. Senator Gillibrand previously served in the United States House of Representatives, representing New York's 20th Congressional District. She was the first member of Congress to post her official public schedule, personal financial disclosure, and federal earmark requests online. And the New York Times called her commitment to transparency a quiet touch of revolution in Washington. Senator Gillibrand has made it her top priority to rebuild the American economy by creating good-paying jobs, helping small businesses get loans, and partnering with the private sector to foster innovation and entrepreneurship. We all know her as a voice for the people of New York, but to her two young sons, Theodore and Henry, she is mom. Unfortunately, Senator Gillibrand got a phone call this morning from the president. So she is downtown with him in a leopard dress. But I do know how important she felt about this award and wanting to be here. So please, let's give her a hand for everything she's done. Our next honoree is someone who I admire so much. She's the chief designer of the international company that bears her name, Donna Karan. Founded in 1984 with her late husband, Stephen Weiss, the company went public in 1996 and was acquired 5 years later by its present owner, French luxury conglomerate LVMH, Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy. For Donna Karan, it has never been just about clothes. It's about lifestyle. And she truly sees the entire picture from head to toe. While questions like, how do I dress the leg, inspired Donna Karan hosiery, and what are the perfect glasses, inspired Donna Karan eyewear, the list goes on to include everything that's needed to pull an outfit or a home together. I've personally been in both a dressing room and a meeting room with Donna, and I can say unequivocally that she lives and breathes to make women look and feel their best, both physically and spiritually. Today, with strong global brand recognition, Donna Karan leverages her company's visibility and resources for social causes. A member of CFDA's board of directors, she conceived and spearheaded its 7th on sale benefits to raise funds for AIDS awareness and education, and she co-chairs the annual New York Kids for Kids events for the Elizabeth Glaser Pediatric AIDS Foundation. As the culmination of her philanthropic efforts, Donna Karan founded the Urban Zen Initiative in 2007 to create a working structure for advancing wellness, preserving culture, and empowering women and children. Donna has received numerous awards and accolades recognizing her accomplishments throughout her career. She's a designer, a philanthropist, and most importantly, to her daughter Gabby, she's a mom. Please join me in congratulating Donna Karan as a 2011 Outstanding Mother.
I can't get my leopard dress on. I know. It's a little bit of Africa anyway. That's divine. Welcome, everybody. It really, truly is an honor to be standing in front of all of you, and probably the best honor of all is sitting with my family. My enlarged family, my small family, the family of the world. First, my daughter Gabby, who is the apple of my eye, and I hope someday could be standing here and understanding how much it is to try to be that mother. You know, that's sometimes never there. When Gabby was born, I lived the life of birth and death. I couldn't understand what it was like to be a mother. My biggest dream in life was to be a mother. But that's not what the universe had for me. Unfortunately, I was being mothered by another woman by the name of Anne Klein. She was faced with cancer, and a collection was due. There I was, 9 days late, thank God for good things, that they made sure the collection was done. I was in the hospital, and a call came in, well, when are you coming back to work? I said, would you like to know whether I had a boy or a girl? I have a little girl. She says, well, that's very nice, but we have a show to do. And my boss at the time, Anne Klein, was sitting in a hospital just a few blocks away from me. And in those days, people did not discuss the word cancer. It was not discussed. I hadn't known about the severity of her disease. I had asked her at the time that I was going to take a leave of absence, quite a long one, because I came from a working mother, and the last thing I wanted to do was to be that working mother. As I sit here today and realize what a working mother really is, the gift of motherhood. There's nothing more important than being a mother. And to see my daughter sitting with my first and oldest grandchild, which I don't like to tell too many people, especially at the age of 20, my son, Corey Weiss, and my daughter, Lisa Weiss, and I've been blessed to have 7 grandchildren. But my true mother also sits at my table, my sister Gail. She has been mother world to the world and has taught me really what mothering is all about. On my other side of my children is the table next to me, is all my children of Anne Klein. Anne Klein, sorry, Donna Karan. That was a Freudian slip. But of course, Freud is always there anyway. Patty Cohn, who mothers me every single day. Jane Tung, who mothers the DKNY world. And Peter Spiviopoulos right now, who's sitting back at the Donna Karan world, creating the next world of Donna Karan. I've been very blessed on so many different levels. not only to dress people, but to really address their needs. People ask me what to wear on the outside, but as life goes on, it is so much more important of what they're wearing on their inside. You could look as beautiful and wear the most gorgeous clothes in the world, but in those dressing rooms, I've learned so many things. I have, my son has, my daughter has, we need, the children there. It became very apparent that I couldn't just sit there as a designer. I had been a philanthropist from the very beginning when the AIDS epidemic broke out and realized, what can we, and every single last one of us sitting here, what can we do when the AIDS epidemic broke out? No one person can do anything. We are all mothers. Every man and woman sitting here today. When I say the word woman, there is a man in every woman. And I believe both the men and the women of the world are our responsibilities to take care and mother the world that exists today. To utilize the opportunities and the gifts that we're given from both creativity, philanthropy, and commerce. To join the worlds of philanthropy and commerce has truly been my dream. My husband connected the dots. He was a brilliant, brilliant sculptor. And as the lessons go, yes, another person who had dealt with cancer. And it's not only cancer that we face today, but as I sit around and look at every single one sitting at the table, every single one of us is a patient, and every single one of us is a loved one. What is wrong in our healthcare system today? Who is caring for the patient, and who is caring for the loved one? Who is caring for the doctor? Who is caring for the nurse? It set me on a path to realize, having gone through 10 years of dealing with my husband with lung cancer, a brilliant, creative man, that I would not be standing here today if it were not for my loved husband. His name's Stephen Weiss. And in connection of the dots, I was able to start Urban Zen. Where do you find the calm and the chaos of the world we live in today? September 11th is a very important day for all of us as we sit here today in memory of what September 11th brought. Each and every one of us has the story of September 11th. September 11th happened, it was my anniversary. And it was also the day of a DKNY show. And Patty called me that morning and said, the show's gonna go on. I said, you've gotta be kidding me. And sure enough, the show did not go on, but there was a much larger show that we had to deal with. All of the people that we have to mother, an entire industry sitting there, caring about, fearing about, where were they going to be? Where were their children? Where were their mothers? The Save the Children organization for me is so close to my heart because every person is a child. And we must save the universe and every one of us. And if each one of us takes on that personal responsibility within our heart and soul, we can truly make that difference that is so needed in this world of chaos that we live in today. Healthcare, education, and preservation of culture. So I am so honored to be given this award, but this award belongs to every single one of us out there, because each one of us is a mother. Each one of us knows what caring and sharing and truly is all about. And our responsibility is that of, for me, my grandchildren, and the world that they're gonna grow up in today. One never knows what's gonna happen. What is the earthquake? What is going to happen downtown, uptown, Haiti, across the world. Probably the biggest, excuse the expression, in my world Jewish guilt that I possibly have is where am I going to be on Mother's Day in Haiti? It's very hard for me to say to my daughter, Mommy, aren't you going to be with us and the kids on Mother's Day? My greatest gift of all is to be with my children. But there is also responsibility that I feel that I have to face, and that is taking care of a devastation of a country that we all have to be responsible for. To see the opportunity, to see the disasters all over the world, and what our social responsibility is today. So I thank you for giving me this opportunity to share and speak to each and every one of you, and the recipients of all the mothers that we share, the caring and sharing of what it is like and what the universe needs. Mindy, you have done that in such magnificent ways, and bringing awareness to the world today, how philanthropy and true commerce can come together. where caring and sharing can save every child in this world, to create a world that's safe and comfortable, that healthcare will be about caring, not just the disease. So Mindy and all the people of Save the World, my family, my daughter, my son Corey, my sister Gail, my daughter Lisa, my granddaughter, and for all my other grandchildren who are not here today, God bless you. Thank you.
Wow, it's hard to come up after that. That's why she's so inspiring. So our next honoree is another inspiring woman, the editor-in-chief of Glamour magazine, Cindy Levy. Under Cindy's leadership, Glamour reaches more than 12 million readers each month and outsells more than 98% of magazines on the newsstand today. Since she has taken the reins of editor-in-chief, Glamour's circulation has risen to its highest level in history, and the magazine has received a record number of national awards. Cindy represents a major force in the industry and serves as the women's lifestyle contributor for NBC's Today Show, where she frequently discusses women's issues ranging from fashion to politics. And what's even more impressive, while she's doing all of this, she's now a recent New York Times best-selling author for her cookbook. It's amazing. 100 recipes every woman should know. There's a lot of great secrets in there. She serves on the board of directors for the International Women's Media Foundation and is a former president of the American Society of Magazine Editors. Cindy has been named the most powerful U.S. fashion magazine editor by Forbes magazine and was featured on Crane's Top 40 Under 40 list. Cindy is also a friend and a great creative partner for us at HSN, and we know firsthand how deserving she is of this honor. Married to film producer Howard Bernstein, Cindy is the proud mother of Lucy and Isaac. Please join me in congratulating Cindy Levy as a 2011 Outstanding Mother.
Thank you, Mindy. It's an honor to receive this award from someone who does everything that you do and runs everything that you run. It's quite a bit and still always has time for girl talk. I'm also humbled to be here today alongside these incredible other nominees. Susan, whom I've admired, Donna, whom I'm wearing, Joyce, whom I've shopped from, and Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, whom I've had the privilege of knowing ever since she was my congresswoman and whom I fully expect to see on a presidential ticket someday. And she has a pretty good excuse for not being here today, I think. Add in Mark Shriver and the life-saving work of Save the Children, and this is quite a power slate. So I'm not sure how I snuck up here, but thank you for having me. Truth be told, I had a hard time figuring out what to say in accepting an award for Outstanding Mothers. At the end of most days, I'll settle for a Still Standing Mother's Award. In fact, when I proudly told my children, ages 6 and 8, who are here today, and thank you, Ike, for putting on the collared shirt, that I was to receive this honor, my 3rd grade daughter was unimpressed. Mom, there must be like 1 billion mothers in the world, she said. Why do you think they picked you? I tried not to become defensive. Well, I'm not sure why they picked me, but you're right, I told her. All those moms probably are great moms, aren't they? Yeah, she said, and then because she's into Greek mythology, and yes, I'm very proud of that, added, I mean, unless you're like Hera, who threw her son off Mount Olympus and he fell into the ocean where he was caught by a sea goddess. She wasn't that good of a mom. I felt immediately better. Like many of us in this room, I occasionally beat myself up for the venal sins of working motherhood, like missing school parties and sometimes having to do bedtime over Skype. But even on my most harried days, I'm pretty sure I am a better mother than Hera. It was a relief to discover that after all these years, the bar was so much lower than I'd ever thought. I could serve my children all the takeout dinners in the world, sorry about that, but as long as I didn't cast them into the sea, I was still on the right side of the law. I'm actually not entirely kidding here. It's very tempting when you're making the daily trade-offs that we all do as working parents to feel as if your children are very easily breakable. In reality, loving them goes a long way. I was lucky enough to have two role models growing up, a mother who worked hard at her job as a biochemist, and later on, a stepmother who made a choice to work in the home. They both were fantastic women, fantastic mentors, and great mothers, not because of whether they did or didn't earn a paycheck, but because they both loved me and encouraged me to be myself. From their two very different examples, I learned one thing: that one of life's great pleasures is spending the day doing work you feel passionate about, work I was lucky enough to find in magazines. And from both of them, I also learned that it's easier to be a good mother if you are a fulfilled woman, doing whatever it is that thrills you. As the needlepoint pillowcases put it, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. Speaking of happy, one of the questions probably everybody in this room gets asked a lot is, how do you do it all? I've never loved that question, mainly because I don't do it all, haven't kept a houseplant alive in decades, and because doing everything would be impossible, even for Superwoman. My own life works because of my husband, Howard, who carries more than his share of parent-teacher conferences and early morning drop-offs, not as some sort of special favor to me, but because that's what being a father is. I always say that thanks to him, the quote-unquote juggling act doesn't usually feel like juggling. It feels more like catch, and catch is a much easier game. Thank you to the National Mother's Day Committee for this award, to my bosses and mentors and colleagues at Condé Nast, many of whom are here today, for their support, and to my completely awesome kids, Lucy and Ike, who make the whole thing so much fun. Happy Mother's Day to all of you, and remember, no matter what happens, you're definitely doing better than Hera.
And thank you, Lucy, because even though my daughter's 21, I need that Hera story at times. So last but certainly not least, our final honoree is Academy Award-winning actress and human rights activist, Susan Sarandon. Known for starring roles in such significant and varied films as the Rocky Horror Show, Bull Durham, Thelma and Louise, and her Oscar-winning performance in Dead Man Walking, Susan Sarandon's film, television, and stage career spans more than 4 decades. And she looks amazing. Most recently, her work has included critically acclaimed performances in The Lovely Bones, You Don't Know Jack, and a guest appearance on NBC's 30 Rock. As a renowned human rights activist, Susan has been a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador since 1999, leading the fight against hunger, women's inequality, and HIV/AIDS. She joined Paul Haggis' Artists for Peace and Justice in 2010, traveling to Haiti to help those stranded by the devastating earthquake. She also works with the Somali Mom Foundation to end human trafficking, Mapendo International to help protect and assist at-risk refugees throughout Africa, and Heifer International to provide impoverished families with livestock and training. In 2009, she added entrepreneur to her list of distinguished accomplishments as she helped launch Spin New York, a table tennis bar in New York City. We all know her for her unforgettable performances on the big screen, TV, and stage, but to her children, Ava, Jack Henry, and Miles, her greatest starring role has been Mom. Please join me in congratulating Susan as a 2011 Outstanding Mother.
Thank you. That's because my kids have never seen any of my movies. They like you just to be Mom, and I figure one of these days, probably when I've passed, they're going to say, when did she do that stuff? I don't know, because they think I work in a trailer. Or they did anyway for years. I'm happy to be here, and this is, not only a great group of women, just great speeches and Save the Children. I remember, in college, donating to Save the Children. It's been around for such a long time and so important because, that's where it has to start, is with kids and education. In the beginning, it's so much harder later on to make a difference. So I'm sure I see all the mothers nodding. It's true, your kids are gone by 7. Whatever work you have to do, it gets much harder by that time. I think the Catholic Church says that at 7 you reach the age of reason and you can go to hell. At least that's what I remember from my Catholic education. But then they also were pushing original sin, which I never quite got into. So Save the Children is really, really such a great group, and we should all be really happy that we're having this fabulous meal on their behalf. I thought, what am I going to talk about in terms of mothering? I was told that I couldn't have any children, and since I'm the oldest of 9 and I was raising all my siblings for so long, it didn't seem like such a big deal. But, I had plenty around. My sisters were having babies like crazy, and then a miracle happened, and I got pregnant really late and had 3 children, kind of suddenly, effortlessly. But again, I'm kind of the patron saint of old ovaries. Everyone comes up to me and says, oh my God, you had your 3rd baby at 45. That's so fabulous. Now I'm going to try to have a baby. But it was great because I was finished. I really could spend so much time with my kids and really enjoy them while working, but didn't feel the need to work that much. Took them with me, multitasked like all the mothers that are in this room. And I guess the thing that I figured out fastest was that you just have to forgive yourself pretty early on for the permission slips that get inlaid and the, lunch boxes that are forgotten and, all that stuff, because I lost my ability to prioritize pretty early on. And so I looked up the word mothering, and it said to tend, nurse, mind, raise, to nurture, protect, and which I didn't know, it's also the name of a marijuana provider. If you Google this, not Google, and that's a definition, actually. And then there's a few other that are too obscene that I can't. So it made me just think about all the, we get credit as mothers if you actually have a baby or adopt a baby, or raise a baby in your house. But there are, as we've alluded to them, so many mothering people, including some guys that have been responsible in my life for really picking up the slack or just picking me up when I was just totally overwhelmed. My daughter the other day, who's getting married in the fall, said, I'm thinking I just want to have 4 babies and do it right away and get it over with. And I was like, it's never over with. What are you talking about? Please start with a dog first. Give yourself at least a year, because seriously, I had 3 under 6, and that was, I look now at people, loading up their strollers with all these kids holding on. I think, how did they do that? And then I realize I did that. And the way that you can do that is because you have these other mothering forces in your life. So I just want to do a shout out to Dr. Lisa Kaufman, my pediatrician, who has, chilled out my kids now that they're still going to her, and they're, 19, 21, and 26. And she's just so calm. That's really fabulous. To the army of, I've had some nannies. I've had periods where I didn't have nannies because it took me until I didn't need a nanny to figure out how to hire the right nanny. But the gals that came in and spent summers with me or went on location with me, and because I, of course, dragged my children everywhere, that really, really, really helped. All my friends who didn't have children, who my kids still go to complain about me, which I think is really, really important, this safety net that you have of other people that are helping. I said that my housekeeper, Nadine, has been with me, forever, and my kids manipulate her, but she finds every sock and every passport or whatever they're needing now, she can find in 2 seconds. I haven't figured out if she moves things around so we are so dependent on her, but seriously, our house couldn't function without Nadine. So I want to give a shout out to her and to the dentist. I have a lot of female people that have been helping, and to all the other mothers when my kids said, "You're the only one that calls when I'm going to spend the night somewhere else," who backed me up and said, "No, they called too," or who agreed upon the curfew, or who agreed upon everything else, because it does take at least a village. And I guess the thing that really has motivated me to be an activist really has been the fact that the mothers that I meet who are trying so desperately with, unclean water and poverty and no education, and who want the same things that we want for our kids and have not been able to find it, but keep pushing on to be able to keep their kids safe and to try to find hope and to try to prepare them and make their lives better. And, if you can imagine what it's like to be that mom in war-torn countries. I know when I went to Nicaragua in '84, which was not a cool time to be in Nicaragua, because I wanted to understand, and I went with a contingent of women, not celebrities, just women who we were delivering baby food and milk, and most of the men had been killed. This was before we actually admitted that we were blowing things up there. And they said, "Don't defend our revolution, just tell the other mothers that we do not want to kill their children." That's it. Thanks. Children, just like mine.
So I think everyone can now see why this event sells out every year. It's authentic, it's real, it's about passion, and it's about purpose. And these 2011 Outstanding Mother Award honorees are certainly an exceptional group of women, and I'm incredibly honored to have been asked to be here today to present them with these awards. And I think the one thing that we all have to remember as moms, as women, is just remember how to breathe. So I'm now going to welcome back Lori Dowley. Thank you.
Can I ask you to do one more favor? I'm always asking. Pick the winner. Some lucky person's going to go to the Red Door Spa.
However, you have to read
All
it.
right, because I've got my glasses on. Patricia Foster. Yes, great. And Mindy, we have just a small token of appreciation for helping us out, Mindy. Thank you. Great job. Thank you so much, Mindy. Our program would not be complete if we didn't thank my committee, who's done just an incredible job. Kathy Bradley, Thea Breen, Nancy Berger-Cardone, Karen Deutsch, Nancy Feldman, Stuart Goldblatt, Marty Krasner, Mary Beth Mazzata, Nancy McKay, Kate Oldham, Lily Sidordovich, Helene Saval, Joe Rivers, and Burns Communication, who for 5 years has supported us with their expertise in communicating this event. Thank you once again to all of our sponsors. We so appreciate your support. Happy Mother's Day, everyone. We'll see you next year.